9 months ago, I made the decision to take a gap year and it completely changed my life. And I remember being on results day, getting my results back and deciding and umming and ahhing about whether I reapplied to go to a different place and ultimately take that year out. And I was super uncertain because in my head, I thought a gap year meant traveling. It meant wasting away a year. It meant doing things for the sake of doing it. But what I didn't realize is that in hindsight now, after being on this 9 month journey, is that my life would completely change. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was easy. I'm not going to tell you that there weren't challenging moments. I'm not going to say there was no uncertainty. But I can tell you for a matter of fact, an absolute certainty is that this year has completely changed the trajectory of my life. It has completely changed my life forever. And I am so grateful for that. And the next few months, I've still not finished the gap year. The next few months are going to completely change my life as well, which is an amazing thing. In today's video, I want to show you how to have a top 1% gap year, because so many people may want to take a year to follow their dreams, to do the things they've always wanted to do, but no one is showing that example. No one is showing a different way of doing so. So I want to be that person for you. Maybe you want to do X, you want to do Y, but you feel like the stereotype of a gap year being around traveling, being around all these different things is holding you back from doing it. And we'll get into all of these steps throughout the video. But in today's video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step approach of how to have a top 1% gap year from everything I've learned, from everything I've observed, from everything that I've tried and tested in this year. And I promise you that if you really enter this video and this thought process with an open mind and you really think about it, you may make a decision that will completely change your life. And it might not be for you, and that's okay. But if it is, I hope this video finds you, and I hope this video finds you at the right point, at the right time, to make the right change in your life. So let's get straight into this. The first step is such an important one, and it doesn't really link about any type of specific activity, but it's more a mindset shift. You have to ignore the opinions of others. So many people are going to tell you that you have to travel. So many people are going to tell you you have to get this type of job. You have to do these kind of things. You have to do what everyone else has done in the past. But if you're going to create your own top 1% gap year, if you're going to do something for you and you're going to take a year to change your life, you're going to have to block out that noise. Because in anything in life, the opinions of others do not matter. The only opinion that matters is you. Your belief in what you are doing is the only thing you need to do what you're doing. So the first and fundamental step is to ignore these opinions. Understand that the journey you're about to embark on is so beautiful. And if I'd have listened to all the opinions of others telling me that I had to travel, I had to do all these things, I wouldn't have embraced the journey and been on the journey that I have been, that has completely transformed me and my life. So that's the first step. The second step is such an important one, and it's self-improvement or self-growth. Use the gap year to transform yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and grow as a person. Get in the gym if you haven't been in the gym. Go on runs if you haven't been on runs. Do the mobility if you haven't been doing that. Do the mindfulness if you haven't embarked on your mindfulness journey. Whatever you may think you need to improve, whatever you may think you need to grow in, the gap year is an amazing time to do so. At the start of the year, an example for me is that my gut health was messed up. And in going through the gap year and going through the journey, I've been able to make changes to help my gut health and help my skin. As my skin is cleared up a lot, it's de-bloated a lot, which is amazing. But the year has allowed me to, one, come to that realization, and then two, make the changes, to learn and to change my diet, to completely shift what I'm doing, to completely shift exercise. I do lymphatic drainage, I do more mobility, have a hybrid approach for exercise. And whatever example it may be for you, you have this time and opportunity to transform who you are. And when you improve as a person, you start to get access to different opportunities. You start to get into different rooms. And with all these other steps, self-improvement and self-growth is fundamental in all these steps along the way. Because when you do these kinds of things, you start to find that people will treat you differently. That you'll start to be ready, I say with a quote, because ready is a decision, but be in a position where these opportunities really are fitting for you. And it's such an important thing. Self-improvement, like one of my main values is growth. I say that you have to grow every single minute of every single day throughout your life, because the minute you stop growing is the minute you die. So, second huge step is self-improvement. Take the year to improve yourself. The third step is one that was a huge part of transforming myself, this 9 months so far, and will continue to transform throughout my life. And that is, do the things that you've always wanted to do and step onto your dream life. Step onto the path of your dream life. Follow your dreams in the simplest form. Follow your dreams. Whether you've always wanted to do content, whether you've always wanted to do business, whatever it may be to you, whatever you have always wanted to do that thing. Trust me, start it. And ignoring the opinions of others is going to help you do so, because for me, around 4 months into my gap year, I started making content. And whilst that was something that came with a lot of criticism and still does, it doesn't matter, because I know that's my purpose and I know that is for me. And this gap year has given me the space to, one, discover this, and to, two, really embrace and relish in these moments, really get involved in it. And you may not know what this is yet, but when you do the self-improvement and you do the other steps that I'm going to tell you, you'll start to discover this thing. But one of your main intentions when taking a top 1% gap year. I like calling it this top 1% gap year because it really is a top 1% gap year. But when you start this year, your intention needs to be on transforming your life and following your dreams. Because when you start to do stuff like this as a young person, you get into different environments and you really start to feel like you're a part of something. When I go to events and I tell people that I make content, it stands out, and you're not doing that for that reason, you're doing it for you. But that's one of the benefits. But the main benefit is that when you do these things, you feel a sense of energy, you feel a sense of purpose, you feel a sense of awakening and enlightenment and amazing, bright energy when you're doing and following your dreams, regardless of what anyone says. Because when I wake up every single day and I know that where I have to learn, or I will learn these certain things, I will make the content, I will do the future things that I'm going to do that is in line with me and my purpose and my soul. When I do all of these things, it only makes me feel amazing. For example, the other day, I felt tired, and then I sat down, I filmed a YouTube video and I filmed short form videos. And after doing so, I felt amazing. I felt that amazing energy again. And that's what following your dreams and figuring out your purposes is going to do for you. And this year is an amazing time to do so. In fact, I think a gap year should be a time for young people to discover and to go after the things that they truly want to do. Because when you go from school to university, you get sucked up in this bubble that, one, you never step back to understand what you want to do, but two, you never really give yourself the chance to do these things. And obviously when I go on to my next endeavors, whatever that may be, I will continue to do what I'm doing now, because I know this is what I was created to do. And I promise you, if you really set that intention, this year you can find that, or if you've already found it, you can start to really let this blossom and grow. And for me, the next 3 months, it's only going to blossom more. I'm only going to make more amazing YouTube videos, more amazing short form videos, impact as many more people, grow on these platforms more. It's such a blessing that I have discovered this thing that has endless abundance to it, that I can just keep creating, keep inspiring and having this energy to completely transform myself, other people, and what I'm doing in my life. And it's an amazing thing. So the third step is probably I'm going to say the second most important, because the last step I'm going to give you is by far the most important one in life, in a gap year, in general. But this one is so fundamental because, trust me, when you have one whole year, you have 365 days where you can set your intentions on following your dreams, you will, one, do so and you'll feel amazing. And then two, you will set that intention for the rest of your life. The rest of my life, I'm going to continue to follow all of my dreams. I'm going to continue to act in alignment. I'm going to continue to do what I love and be here with you guys and build this community. So one, it's a blessing for you to be here. And two, it's a blessing for you to start stepping on that journey as well. Now, step number 4 is another important one, and you're probably sitting here looking at me thinking, well, I can do stuff to follow my dreams. I can go to the gym, I can self-improve, I can go for the runs, I can do the meditation, I can do the journaling, I can ignore the opinions of others. But how am I going to make money through this year? How am I going to earn some sort of stability or do something else alongside that is going to get me into certain environments? And what I'm going to tell you might contradict your opinions on getting a job, especially as a young person. And you might have limiting beliefs behind this as well. But you have to get a job primarily not for the money, for the lessons and for the learning you are going to get. And I've got a prime example for this in my own journey. 6 months ago, I got a job at a startup called The Venture, a business and entrepreneurship media platform. It's this amazing business where they interview founders and entrepreneurs, and then they also make content around business, entrepreneurship, to help business owners and founders and people in general and inspire people to get into business. And I got the job where, one, I'm getting paid some money, which is cool. It's always amazing to be making money, and in the future I'm going to be making more and more and more money, or receiving, I like to say receiving money. But 2, one of the most important things for me is I'm learning lessons that, one, I can apply in life now and I can apply in the future. I'm learning skills that I can apply in the future. For example, I'm being around these millionaire founders and business people and people who have built these amazing businesses, and I'm learning to communicate. I'm learning to outreach to them. I'm learning to create certain pieces of design and content and how certain content psychology works. And these are skills and lessons that will serve me in the future. So when you're looking to get a job or you're looking to make some money, try and do something that you're going to learn as well. And maybe you have to start out the gap year doing a job primarily for the money. For me, that was working at Chelsea Football Club. I was doing the hospitality there, and that was a kind of a job that was getting me to make some money. And I always say that you can learn lessons from anything you're doing, but I primarily mean the lessons of building skills that are going to lead you in the future. Because I think if you're watching this video, you want to have a year that is going to really prep you for the future, and really not even prep you for the now, but really just build yourself up. So maybe you have to start with these kind of hospitality jobs. I don't know, you probably don't. But again, set the intention of finding a job that you're going to learn. If you love the marketing industry, set the intention of trying to get an internship at a marketing company where you can learn, but you're also making money. If you love football content, try and email someone like SDS Podcast, or try and email Goal Hanger, Gary Lineker. Trust me, just email people. I got my job by meeting them at an event and then emailing them on TikTok, messaging them on TikTok to ask for work experience, and they liked working with me, so that led me to getting the job. So I promise you, break down the limiting beliefs that you can't get these jobs, because someone was telling me that, or lots of people were telling me that you can't get a job at a startup, because I wanted a job at a startup, which I now have. They said, you can't get a job at a startup, you can't do this. But ignore the opinions of others. Don't let that infiltrate what you will and you can do. The possibility and abundance of what you can do is endless. And really try and do something that is going to, 1, make you money, because that is important, but 2, impact and help you learn for now and for the future, and build skills and build lessons and build an understanding in things that you love and things that are interesting to you. The 5th thing is something that really ties into the stereotype of a gap year. And everyone's going to tell you that you have to travel. And whilst I don't think traveling is a bad thing, I don't think the traditional stereotypical gap year traveling and just going away for months and months and months and not really doing many productive things. I don't want to judge other people, but this is just my opinion on it, right? And if you're wanting to take this top 1% gap year, you wanted to transform your life, I don't think this is going to fit the model. But what I do recommend is that what I highly, highly recommend is you get yourself in environments and around people that are going to inspire you, are going to motivate you, are going to increase your energy and inspiration to do amazing things, and are going to increase your awareness of possibility. Increase your awareness of what you can really do. When I've been in these environments One, I feel an electric energy to go and do amazing things. I get more inspiration to put into my content, to put into my learning, to put into improving myself. And I promise you that you probably get more out of going to these things once a week, once a month. That you'll probably get more from that than you will from traveling. So how can you do so? One, you can join online communities. I joined an online community around self-improvement, a group of guys who are trying to self-improve and trying to grow themselves, or who are growing themselves. And that was a real help for me, to be around people who want to grow, be around people who talk about things that are progressing them forwards. Two, you can go to events. I've been to some amazing events. Higher Up Wellness event, if you know Higher Up Wellness is. Emma Gree, Jay Shetty, Creator College event. I've been to Ideas Fest where I got my job. All these events, right? They're so cool. And it's so important that you actively seek these kind of events, whether it's business events, whether it's content events, whether it's whatever industry or thing you're interested in. There are events out there for you. And don't think that because you're a young person that you can't go to these. Your advantage is being young. This is such an amazing lesson, is that your advantage is being young. So use that. Use this gap year to take this advantage of being in these environments as this young person, because it will stand out to people. You will stand out to people if you are really going out there, being brave and putting yourself out there. And then you can also, another thing you can do is you can email people that you look up to or you're inspired by and ask to get on calls with them or ask to meet them in person. This can happen. It's happened for me. I've been able to meet some amazing people. For example, Alex Hormozy's marketing advisor, who now works for Simon Squibb, who helped the 100 million leads launch that did £100 million in book sale. In one day, I managed to speak to him on a 15-30 minute call. And other people, email them. Get yourself out there. The thing is, no one's going to give you these opportunities, but when you put yourself out there and you're specific about the advice that you want, people will want to give you help, advice, opportunities, because they want to help young people. But when you're vague and you're like, oh, can you help me? Can you give me some advice? You need to be specific. You need to put yourself out there. You need to send an email to someone, then repeatedly spam them, email them, email them, email them. Attack them with emails. You need to message someone on Instagram over and over and over again. You need to apply to these things over and over again. Stop being timid and stop letting the opinions of others, but just stop letting things when it doesn't work out the first time. Not like you assume that when you don't get this one job role, when you don't get the certain amount of followers straight away, when you don't hear someone reply to your email back, you assume that that means that every single time you do this one thing, it's going to equal the same thing. When it's not. It's just because you have to keep on repeating, you keep on repeating, keep on repeating. And trust me, that change will happen. And when you start to get into these opportunities and things start to really start blossoming, woo! It feels so good. I feel that energy now because I've experienced that and I want to experience that more. That's the goal for me the next few months of this gap year and obviously into the rest of my life as well, is to get around more people, to seek these opportunities and to receive these amazing things. The sixth step is something so powerful, and that's learning. Use your gap year to learn, whether that be whatever it may be for you. I'll explain for me. Learning for me means philosophy, psychology, mindfulness, mindset, spirituality, neuroscience, and overall just self-growth and self-development, connection, that kind of learning. And I've started to read books and I've fallen in love with books. I didn't really read many books until about 4 months ago. But good books are a cheat code. If you're a young person and you want to speed run the process of growing, you want to speed run the process of elevating, use that time and use the gap year to immerse yourself in knowledge. Because when you surround yourself in this amazing knowledge and you're always learning, by way of osmosis, you are going to develop as a person. They say that you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. But whilst this may not be applicable to you right now to surround yourself with these people in person, you can read their books, you can watch the YouTube videos. YouTube has completely changed my life. Without YouTube, I wouldn't be where I am today because I've been able to learn things. I've been able to improve my mindset and my subconscious programming by seeing these amazing things and seeing what it can actually do when I watch a video of someone living that amazing life driving those amazing cars, living in those houses, living in those amazing places, or I'm watching a video talking about neuroscience and how you can transform your brain more, how you can connect to spirituality and improve yourself and create deeper meaning with yourself. You get my point. Just use this year to learn and apply it to whatever you want to learn and apply it to whatever may suit you, because once you start learning, you go on this spiral of learning and learning and learning. All you want to do is keep on learning, and I just want to read a book right now. So I promise you, use the gap year and get to have a 1% gap year. You have to be learning. There's 2 more steps, and the last step is by far the most important one and the most amazing one. But the 7th step is, again, so powerful. And we've kind of talked about this, so I won't go too in depth on this, but it's 1 on setting intentions and 2 on setting goals. Give yourself goals that you can get to, because when you're aimlessly drifting through a gap year, you can find that you get a bit lost. And I'll be honest, the first 6 months of my gap year, before I really got understanding what was meant for me and what my purposes were, I was just drifting through it. And that was probably when I was the most down, the most lonely, the most lower state vibrational energy. That was when I was probably in those states, because I was drifting. But when you set yourself goals and you become intentional about your life, you become intentional about your habits, you become intentional about where you're directing your energy, you become intentional about where you're directing your focus, your life will completely start to shift. And this is advice for life in general, not even a top 1% gap year. It's about life throughout. So continue to use this advice as you grow throughout life. But use the gap year to become intentional about getting rid of habits that don't serve you and implementing things that do serve you. Setting goals that will excite you, that are going to make you have that bubbly energy inside of you and allow yourself to wake up every single day with that vision in your mind. And then just be intentional about where you put your energy. If you're constantly scrolling or consuming things like the news or this stuff is not going to help you. So use the year to really detox and really focus on becoming intentional. And this is a process that I'm still going through. All of this stuff is really just a process that you continue to grow, improve, and develop at. This is the amazing thing, that life is a journey. Life is a journey, and you're always learning, always growing. There's no end point. It's just about constantly blossoming the purest version of you out. And this links to the 8th point, the final and the 8th point of how to have a top 1% gap year. This step is what is going to change your life, is what is going to really help you have this top 1% gap year. And without this one thing, I wouldn't be where I am now, and the whole year would not have been where it is. And this step is the discovery of yourself. Your primary purpose in life is to awaken. And in my opinion, awakening means the discovery of self. In the gap year, it is the most amazing time, the most amazing opportunity to go on a journey of discovering who you are, to connect to deeper meaning, to really spend time building that relationship with you and allow the purest, most authentic version of you to blossom out. I say blossom out because it's already within. But I promise you that your life will start once you start living authentically. And maybe school has programmed you to fit in and accept to so many different things. But it's time to step away from that. It's time to stop the drinking, to stop the partying, to stop the gossiping, to stop the doing things, the validation of opinions of others, and to be the authentic version of you. And in doing all these other 7 steps I've said, it will help you discover yourself and it'll help you go down this journey. But I really wanted to highlight this point because the gap year is an opportunity to spend time in stillness, to really spend time reflecting, to spend time connecting, to spend time understanding you. You live with yourself your whole life. So building that relationship and really allowing the one-of-one version of you to come out is the best thing that you can ever do, the best thing that you will ever do throughout your life. And again, this is a lifelong journey because you'll enter different chapters where different versions of you will come out and different parts of you will come out in those moments where they maybe didn't need to come out before. Whatever it may be, the timing will be right regardless. But I promise you that you cannot live your dream life if you're not being the authentic version of you. And the minute you become the authentic version of you is the minute that your perspective on life completely changes. And this whole year has been an amazing, or 9 months has been an amazing opportunity for me to discover the purest, most authentic version of me, and for me to discover tools, routines that allows me to have my energy where I want it to be, which allows me to operate and be the authentic version of myself. And please, to have a top 1% gap year, regardless of what you want to call it, top 1%, doesn't even matter, right? To have an amazing life, you have to start the journey of discovering who you are. And I promise you, a gap year is one of the most amazing opportunities to do so. You have a whole year to really go on this journey, to really discover who you are, to really reprogram your subconscious mind, to get rid of old programming, to old beliefs, old things that don't serve you, implement new things that do serve you, and allow this purest, authentic version of you to blossom out. So if there's one thing you're going to do on this gap year, if there's one thing you're going to do in your life in general, please let it be the journey of discovering yourself and being authentic. Because when you do so, I always say that when you're being yourself, everything, and I mean everything, figures itself out. So these are the steps to have a top 1% gap year. And the right person will see this video, because I know there's people out there who want to do things they've always wanted to do, who want to start to go on a journey to discover who they truly are, but they've never had the example or really seen the opportunity to do so. So that's why I'm making these videos, and I've made this video and made videos I'm going to make in the future, because I really believe that this gap year method can transform young people's life, allow them to step away from the education system to discover themselves and discover their purposes, to then, if they want to go back into the education system or they want to go into other aspects of life, that they've really set this foundation that is one of the most amazing, strong, tree-rooted foundations that you can build. And I want to say also that if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. And I'm going to make more videos on this, because there's other things that I definitely need to talk about, whether that's around loneliness, whether that's being even clearer than I have been in this video, whether that's around how to get certain jobs, how to make money, how to build routines in a gap year, all of this stuff. I'm going to make all these videos. So drop your comments down below and I'll try and make videos around all the things that you ask. Because this is about you guys, and this is about helping you guys discover and understanding if this decision is for you. But I know that from my 9 months experience, that this gap year, well, I'm grateful for the universe for one, putting this and giving me this opportunity. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm so grateful. And I just know as well that these next 3 months, these last 3 months of my gap year, and then throughout the rest of my life, I'm going to completely change my life. And watch this space. These next 3 months, watch this space. And I'm so grateful for you being here. And if this video was meant to reach you, if this video was meant to be there for you, then that makes me feel amazing, because that's why I make these videos, to impact people and to impact young people, to raise their consciousness and to go down the paths and journeys that are meant for them, and to be the sign maybe for other people to go on a journey that maybe are similar to mine, or that are meant just truly for them, truly for your authentic path. So subscribe, like the video, drop any comments with any questions you have, and I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, always be yourself, because when you're being yourself, everything figures itself out.